Did you know that according to the National Library of Medicine, humans ingest anywhere from 39,000 to 52,000 microplastic particles a year? That's a pretty scary number, and that range goes up to 74,000 to 120,000 if you take inhalation of microplastic particles into account. Today, I'm going to be talking about how microplastics can impact you, how they get into your body, and how to deal with them and mitigate their risks. Plastic is almost everywhere nowadays. Bottled water, food wrapped in plastic, plastic containers, plastic bags, you name it. It's convenient, it's cheap, it's mass-produced. It's almost everywhere. But at what cost? The primary ways that microplastics enter the human body are through inhalation, ingestion through contaminated food and water, and potentially through skin contact. Now, what are microplastics, and where'd they come from in the first place? Well, in the 1960s and 70s, plastic became very popular due to how easy and cheap it was to mass produce, and quickly became a staple of convenience and affordability. And ever since then, it has been used universally and has found its way into almost every single household on the planet. We interact with it on a daily basis, and it's quite hard to imagine our lives without it. Microplastics are pieces of plastic that are 5 millimeters or less in size, and they originate from two main pathways. The first are microplastics that are intentionally produced and are to be used for skincare products, synthetic clothing, or packaging, anything of that sort. And the second are plastics that come from the degradation of larger plastics, such as tires, plastic bottles, plastic caps, plastic bags, and so forth. Usually they are degraded due to friction, staying in the ocean for too long, or exposure to sunlight, or even burning. According to The Guardian, microplastics have been discovered in various human tissues and organs, including brains, hearts, lungs, kidneys, livers, blood, and even the placenta. But what risks do these cause? How do these damage human health? Well, various studies have found that microplastics in the human body lead to cell death, hormone deterioration, changes in lipid metabolism, and adverse side effects on the lungs, such as coughing, and even neurological damage. So how can we combat microplastic pollution in our own body? Well, since plastic is really commonplace nowadays, there are some external factors and some ways of pollution that are very difficult to escape, and you'd have to go to some extreme measures if you wanted to. For example, if the city that you live in has really polluted air and you don't want that pollution to affect your lungs, well, your best bet is probably to move someplace where the air is cleaner. And if you were to try to avoid that air pollution by, say, wearing a plastic mask, the microplastic particles you'd inhale from that mask would be far worse than the pollution you'd inhale just walking about. But there are other ways where you can effectively combat microplastic pollution in your daily habits. For example, avoiding buying bottled water or any liquids that are contained in a plastic bottle. Changing your methods of storing food from plastic containers to, say, ceramic or glass. And never heating up anything with plastic in the microwave. That's a big one. So yeah, the way you change your daily habits can seriously impact your health in the long run. I consider myself to be quite mindful of my health and anything that can seriously impact it. So while living in a metropolis, I've researched many ways that I can reduce pollution in my own body. And as stated before, reducing the consumption of plastic overall, so not buying anything bottled in plastic. I've switched out plastic containers for ceramic and glass. I've even started using HEPA water filters to further filter my water, and have avoided using and wearing synthetic clothing. For example, the shirt on me right now is cotton, and I prefer all my clothes to be cotton. As I didn't say this before, but it's not confirmed, and there aren't too many studies on it, but microplastics may also be able to enter the human body through the skin layer. So yeah, I urge you to do the same. Do some more research on this, what you can do in your daily life to cease the pollution or minimize it as much as you can of your own body. The biggest and quickest change you can probably make is avoiding buying foods and liquids that are encased in plastic. So bottled water, For example, plastic wrapped meats or stuff like that. And buying organic foods also helps a lot because it minimizes the risk of them being polluted with some stuff like microplastics that you wouldn't really want in your body. And in conclusion, I just want to say that microplastics are a big problem in today's day and age. The adverse side effects that they can have on your health and the way they can seriously impact it should be a concern. And it is a growing concern to many people nowadays. There are lots of online forums, YouTube videos, and other media that you can research and see for yourself of people being mindful about their consumption of plastic in an effort to preserve their health mostly. So I urge you to do the same and be mindful of your habits regarding plastic. Thank you for viewing.